Welcome, everybody, back to our podcast. I am so excited. I'm your host, DDA Nicholas, and I am so excited to introduce to you Josh and Christina. They own Mr. Electric of Winter Garden and Winter Park, and they're going to give us a background about their business and talk to us about success of their business and also kind of give some aspiring thoughts for entrepreneurs and those who want to be business owners, give a little bit of insight on how they have gone through this whole process themselves. So it's going to be a great show. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you as well. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about your background. Let's go into a little bit of background about who you guys are.
Sure, absolutely. So at the core, I'm a small town guy. Grew up in Wisconsin. My family actually owns a cranberry marsh up there. So
Wow.
grew up, doing everything. When we needed something, we built it. When something broke, we fixed it. However it got to be done, that we did what we had to do. So for me, working with my hands and being part of construction and doing things is always something near and dear to my heart. So then I actually went off to engineering college, got an engineering degree, and from there spent the majority of my adult career practicing as a professional electrical engineer, designing buildings, primarily hospitals and theme parks. So that transitioned then into the electrical trades and owning a business and working with others in the trades.
So you've definitely, over the many years, Josh, you actually have accumulated in so many skills that have led you guys up to where you're at today, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's very interesting. So let's tell our listeners a little bit about your business.
So the business, we primarily focus on residential service. So anything at your house, electrical that you might need, anything you want to modify, or any emergencies that pop up, that's primarily what we focus on. So think about your home. Think about a room that might not have the right lighting. Think about the next hurricane that's coming. Are you prepared for that? What can you do? Big to small, residential. That's really where our focus is. But we also do commercial. So again, anything within a building, commercial, that might need repairs or updates or upgrades. That's where we can come in and work with you to understand what your needs are and then give you the best possible solution to move forward.
So there's a lot that goes into being an electrician, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of times people think about the trades and it's, some guys tend to just be Mr. Fix It. But, especially in today's market, there's a lot more about the experience. And it's not just knowing how to fix things. You have to be able to work closely with people, understand their needs, go in and give them that full experience. So whereas they enjoy you in their home because you're working closely with them, keeping their space clean, doing a good job, and ultimately making them feel comfortable with your presence and with what they have, understanding how to use it and knowing that, we're there when they need us.
Well, that's well said. So, there's always a story behind every successful business in terms of what was on the back end of all this, right? What inspired you guys to get into this?
Well, for me, growing up, for me, I had two grandpas that were just very hardworking, and all through life, I saw the value of hard work and what that could ultimately lead to, and how your personal hard work could truly affect and impact and bless others around you. So for me, even growing up working for others, I just really had a drive to work hard and really do as much as I could. Not just about working hard, but working smart. But worked a lot of hours and just always tried to learn, always tried to be better, always tried to do more and to help those around me. And that's really what transitioned me ultimately from, working for others to wanting to start a business. And I think one of the prime things for me was as an engineer, there was one time I'll never forget it. I was actually in Dubai working on a project there. And I was sitting eating dinner looking at the Burj, and Christina called me and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just having dinner." And she said, "Grayson just puked on me. When are you coming home?" And I was like, working for others is wonderful. And, working hard for someone else's business and achieving as much success there as you can is great. And that's really what I always envisioned myself doing. But that entrepreneurial spirit in me that was instilled through watching my grandfathers build businesses and work hard, when my wife was kind of like pushing me, hey, maybe we need to do something that keeps you closer to home, gives us a little more flexibility, and take some of those skills and gifts that God has given us, and work with others that might have gifts too, that we can help them develop their skills and blossom into something of their own. So
I love that. And there's two words I took out of that was working hard and working smart, right? And so those two words in itself, and it seems like I always say on these podcasts, is like I talk to a lot of business owners, and it seems like it's consistent with those words: work hard, work
yeah.
smart. And I just threw the word consistent, and it pays off. So let's talk about something about your leadership style that surprises people.
So for me, again, the way I grew up, I enjoy getting my hands dirty. I enjoy doing things. I'm not the standard business owner that might just be in the background. I wear a lot of different hats. I have a lot of different titles, all the way from owner down to janitor. There is no job that's unimportant, that shouldn't have my involvement if needed. So, my guys are out doing a job. If there's something hard that needs to get done, or they need a second set of hands, I'm that guy. A couple weeks ago, I was the one crawling through the attic on my belly, trying to get to the spot that we needed to get the wires through the wall. Before that, we needed a 150-foot trench dug in the Florida 98-degree heat, 108-degree heat index. My guys weren't looking forward to it. I went out there, I dug the trench. Thankfully, my wife came at about 3 and kept me from dying, because it's pretty nasty out there. So, when you see your electricians working outside or in an attic in the summer, give them some grace, because it's difficult. But I like to lead from a team perspective. It's not just about becoming successful on the backs of others or pushing others to ultimately get what we want. For us, the leadership style is more about having our team be like a family, bringing them into our home, doing things here, holding meetings here, and really, leading as a part of the team, really from within. And no job's too small. I'm willing to do anything and everything that I'll ask my guys to do.
Wow, man, this is awesome. This is a lot of good thoughts of what you're saying in terms of, for our listeners to be able to listen to this. I love it. What's the most unexpected lesson that you've learned from running your business? Anything that kind of stands out?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, go for it.
So I think the one thing that we have learned is how important work-life balance is with your family or personal life, and also your job. Although Josh's work, our work, is really, really, really important, we still have to have that balance with our family. And this is why, he did decide to go into owning our own franchise and leaving the corporate workplace, because it does give us that flexibility. But then it's also important that we maintain that work-life balance. And we also see that with our team members as well. And one thing that we like to do is to pray for them, and to just help them to feel that we really genuinely care about their families and their success, not only at home, but also on the workplace or in the workplace. So that's something that we have found is really important, is that we have that balance and also support our guys through their personal lives as well.
The balance
Wow,
is, oh, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah.
for me, I'll work 80, 90 hours a week if she doesn't slow me down.
Yeah, it's true.
Well,
And
and
we're a local family. We're right here. We have 5 sons, so there is a lot going on outside the business, and obviously, it's important to keep all that in mind as well.
and that's awesome. I always like how you kind of step back and you always say it's your team, and how you guys always come together and you make sure you look out for them too as well. That's pretty powerful. So, what's the secret to your success?
Do you want to jump in on this one a little bit?
I would say that, your dedication and hard work, but also being a partnership, being a team. I think that also prayer has been, in our faith, has been a huge part of our success, because we really want to serve God in everything that we do and bless others through this business. And so I think that has played a huge role in our success and kept going when times have been difficult, because sometimes, having your own business can be hard. And so
I know it might sound cliche, but grit, really. I mean,
yes.
As a small business owner, there's that you have to understand there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times when the phone's ringing off the hook and things are great, but then you're going to hit months where the phone doesn't ring that much. And, just kind of having the fortitude and the grit to take those down times and figure out, hey, okay, this is a time, instead of to get nervous and stress, to take the time that we have to learn, to equip our team, so that when things do pick back up, because they always will, everything's cyclical, that you're even in a better position to launch from those downtimes.
I like that. Very well stated. So as we're wrapping up here, because there's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, right, that are listening to this, and those who want to become business owners. And based on your success, is there any type of advice that you would give those who are listening that are wanting to start their own business? Maybe a couple pointers.
Yeah, the one of the big things that I think of when I look at starting a business is, make sure you're wise with your resources. I hear of a lot of small business owners that get really excited. They're starting the business. Like in our industry, they go out, they get an office, they get a couple vehicles, they hire, staff, they get all these things in place, and then they don't necessarily have the customers. Customer acquisition is such a huge, key, important part, especially in our market. And if you set up a shop or a store or anything like that, obviously you have to have customers coming in. So, for me, the way I look at things is, whether you want to go fast or slow, you have to look at your resources and make sure you plan appropriately. For us, when we started, the resources were somewhat limited. So we started very, very slow. And as the business picked up, we ramped up and invested more into it, always keeping an eye on making sure we had those cash reserves, because it's horrible to get to a point where you stress about that, or you might not be able to make payroll. So, and then there's businesses that go super fast, but they might have, a ton of resources. And when that's the case, you can invest in different ways to make the business go faster, but just keep your eye on your resources and plan it accordingly. What about you, honey?
So I would say the one thing for me, and I was also a former business owner in the beauty industry before we launched this business and franchise together. And one thing that has always been so important to me, as I mentioned before, is my faith. And there is a Bible verse that I love so much. It's Proverbs 16:3, and it says, "Commit your work to the Lord, and He will establish your plan." So that would be my advice to anyone who is thinking about starting a business, is to pray about it, bring it to the Lord, have faith. And if you commit that to Him, that He will establish your plans.
I love that. Good job. Very good. So let's give our listeners a way to reach out to you guys, your phone number and your website.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two different websites. It's mrelectric.com/winter-garden or winter-park. Each of those have their own websites. And we have various different phone numbers, but they can reach our office through 407-789-3663. That'll get you to our staff. We have someone who works. Her name is Dawn. She typically answers the phone Monday through Friday. If you call us during off hours in the evenings or on the weekends, we do have a call center that backs up our staff, or I may pick up the phone as well, or Christina, of course. So,
well, thank you so much to you both for, taking time out of your busy schedule to share with our listeners your success stories, your inspirational thoughts. And it's just exciting to hear how success has, came your way and continue. We wish you the best in success in the future as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.